sure, said the bishop to the actress. Thank you, Sandra. Sorry, I was just reading Sandra Whittam's comment about Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, keeping an eye on it, Sandra, because it's, Sheffield Wednesday is one of the oldest football clubs in the world ever. And it would be such a sad shame, but owner's gone, from what I understand, and there's people in there. I understand there's offers. There's already consortiums, a bit like Spurs. Spurs are on the table for about $4.5 billion. So we'll see what happens with Spurs. But football is very exciting. I mean, if we were bottom of the Premiership, it wouldn't be as exciting. But I'm rooting for you, Sandra. I'm rooting for you because I want the Blades to come up and play us again, because it would be fantastic if we did. But welcome to the Body of the Kirk live, number 254. It's it's Monday now, and my head's a bit scrambled because there's literally so much going on. I can't keep tabs on it. Literally, just there's a load of Trump stuff happening. There's a load of Starmer stuff happening. There's a load of Labour stuff happening. So before we get started, we always do the parish notes. We'll get into those in a moment. Hang on, I need some of me water. So it's everybody's bloody thing. Says Paulie. Calm down, Adrian. It's only a live. Oh, Lilybell, welcome. Good evening to you too. I see you. And Amanda Sky and Karen Davis and Paulie Gallieri and Motorcycle Madhouse. So welcome all to the Body of the Kirk. There's lots of stuff happening. And for legal reasons, I don't bring some of it here, but we are going to talk about the Macrons. Yes, all that. And hang on, let me just do this. Oh, that's Paulie Gallieri's in the Body of the Kirk first. Bloody hell, keen Paulie. Good evening, Adrian Yota. Wrong, and hope you've had a good day. It's been interesting. I was up in the middle of the night watching documentaries about stuff, and there's one on Amazon Prime that I'm trying to find. It came up in my social media newsfeed about chemtrails. A brand new doc that's just come out, so I wanted to see it. And we're almost getting to a standstill where all of the stuff that the theorists have been saying for 30, 40, 50 years is now accepted as fact or true. And it's almost like when I'm not here, I can't sit on social media because it's almost like a molasses. It weighs you down. It's very dark, very deep, very unnecessary. And people are just reporting the same stuff because they don't have anything new. They're not creative. They don't have any way of sort of disseminating some of the stuff that's going on in the news. And it's the old phrase, you can only come from your current place of understanding. I get that, and I get that's why you come to the Body of the Kirk for understanding, and that's what I do. Why I do what I do, because I like being in service of you and giving you information. And I don't always give you the answers. I give you a doorway for you to step through and do your own research and find out what you need to find out for yourself. I'd like to thank those that do help in the background, that come up with stuff and stuff and just get in touch. As long as it's in relation to the channel, I don't mind at all. So Paulie's first in the Body of the Kirk. Stuart says, oh, hang on a second. Let me just, I'm not with it tonight for some unknown reason. Probably staying up. I should have been on the lash last night. That would have given me more energy today. I'm I'm an older guy. I was thinking this today. I was mad in my teens and twenties, mad, and you could literally just go and cane it. I mean, I used to do nightclub work and radio work, and I'd have half an hour sleep a night just to kind of, I'd get in from the clubs, have half an hour on. There was a security guard at Radio T's called Albert, and if anybody knows anything about Radio T's, they'll know Albert. And Albert was a fantastic guy. And I used to just say to Albert, I'd finish clubs, I'd drive into the station, stay talking to him, and then I'll look. I need half an hour to take the edge off this. I can't go on air like this. So, so I did. And today I was just thinking, it's an awfully lot slower life now, and that's the way I like it. I like peace and a little slowness to life, rather than just caning it like a teenager. I'll leave that to the kids, but nowadays they're all full of anxiety and ketamine. So, and I read a very, very, very good article in one of the Sundays yesterday about this epidemic of ketamine, the horse tranquilizer. Quite why they want to take horse tranquilizer, I don't know. But it's cheaper. It's cheaper than a pint. It's cheaper than most of the other recreational stuff. But it has an effect on you. I understand it is a common element that in young guys that are taking a shit ton of ketamine, they can't get it up, said a spokesperson. And you just think, whoa, does it affect you that much? And bladder issues, so they're peeing themselves and they have no control. And you just think, really? I mean, I know that recreational's been around since God was a boy. Even they were doing, not ayahuasca, what am I looking for? Acacia. Acacia has DMT in it, so they would get off the tits on acacia. And various other plants. So it's always been there for humankind. But now it just seems to be that it's the ruination of generations. So didn't really intend on speaking about that. It's just kind of tripped off my tongue, so to speak. Stuart's in the body of the Kirk. Evening, Rev. Sister Mary is in a right state after those Jaeger bombs. You see, she's been sniffing the barmaid's apron or other things. She doesn't remember going all ranty, Rev, out in the beer garden. So do we tell her or show her the CCTV footage once her hangover is gone? Just make sure her big dog dick is nowhere near the punters, nowhere near the parishioners, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. She's got more to deal with the three Austrian nuns and the bishop and his finger. He keeps offering her a bishop's finger. I mean, maybe I've need to have a word with the Archbishop. But welcome, Stuart. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Les, welcome. Oh, yes, Les. Yes, the artist formerly known as Prince. Jesus, Theo Bovril. So, welcome everybody to the body of the Kirk. We're just kind of getting our feet under the table. We've still got a few minutes. But the Bovril saying, and they mix ketamine with bicarb, leading to kidney failure. Dear Lord. And I understand that I'm not quite sure, because I've never done recreational gear in my life, apart from the odd pint. I understand that they are now adding Valium to stuff to make it an even deeper hit. I mean, are they nuts? Exactly so, Rebel. Exactly. Ruddy L, at that age, it should always be locked and loaded. Blimey, I was always smuggling mine into town without anybody knowing. Evening, Stephen Hall. Evening, Amalia Grassi. Yes, I mean, I know that there's the old hippies who were basically stoners from the 60s and doing a whole load of hallucinogens, but now it just gets really sordid and serious, and it's not. I mean, I know parents are supposed to protect the kids from themselves, not the parents. Not protecting them from the parents, but protecting them from themselves. But they're getting themselves into a right panshite just to impress people that don't even like them. Adam Whale says ketamine is absolutely wild. Yeah. But Soul Rebel says I wouldn't know ketamine if I fell over it. Stephen Hall, I'm with you. Stephen says, never got into drugs, I'm proud to say. I just think that this generation, whether it's Z or Alpha, they're just empty. I mean, there's always good kids. There's always good kids who are trying to, do the right thing and be the best that they can be at that age. But there's always, I mean, at my school, it's comprehensive school, it was glue sniffing. It was always like this horror of people dying from glue sniffing, and butane sniffing, and just anything to get off their tits. Well, if they're Stephen Hall, my drug was radio. Great minds think alike, Stephen. It's interesting that a lot of people in the body of the Kirk this evening say, I wasn't particularly interested in it. Look, we all love a little libation, but it's part of the excuse is, everybody's doing it. Well, that's not an excuse. If everybody was going around murdering people, would you do it and say, well, everybody else is doing it? Les makes a very interesting point. Never felt the need for it. Got my high, making people laugh, telling jokes and stories. Brilliant, Les. Brilliant. And I think being in service of others is, will, in my view, give people a greater high than just doing recreational gear. It's just, I mean, a bit like a lot of people in the body of the Kirk, I wouldn't know where to go to get it. But went to the Amazonian, Peruvian Amazon to do ayahuasca, 4 ayahuasca ceremonies in 5 days. But that's medicine. And that's why they don't, the shadow dwellers don't want us to do anything that's going to benefit us or give us an insight into this human condition. They want to control us. They just want, this meat suit to do as it's told every now and again. Adam, well, always good to experiment in your youth, but it does catch up with you, Adam. It does. And I believe that when people have children, whatever they've done, so say it's me, whatever I've done to my parents, if I had children, they would do that to me for me to learn the lesson, because that's all we're here for. We're just here to learn. It's as simple as that. Yeah, need it. Definitely need it. Right, so Tom Harney's, I took ketamine once and now I'm training for the next Grand National. Brilliant. So let's, where are we? We're nearly there. Let me give you an idea. Because there's so much, there's so much to talk about. There's Sarah Potchin. There's something called rage baiting. Is it the new shock jockery? We'll talk about that. 1 in 3 say they believe in ghosts. Oh, I say. So I need your interaction around a lot of the stuff that we're doing tonight. We'll talk about the health and safety and the glory of war. Do you know Ghislaine Maxwell? Blowjob queen. I've got information coming for you. Pun intended. Lily Allen. Oh, bloody hell, man. Sell your soul, Lily, man. She's got an album sell. And, hang on. Sorry, I'm seeing sort of flies out the corner of my eye, and I'm thinking, I need to kill that. And we'll talk about stuff that I may have to be a little obtuse. But I kind of set stuff off, and then in the weeks and months afterwards, I'll say, I told you that months ago. So I'm going to tell you stuff. We're going to talk about the 3-letter agencies in America, Charlie Kirk. We'll talk about, the Clintons. Yeah, we're going to talk about Hillary tonight. We're also going to talk about the Macrons. Watch out. I think they might be playing tennis, because from what I understand, there's a load of balls flying around. We're going to talk about organ harvesting. That's really serious. And what's going on with the Labour Party? Let's all laugh at the Labour Party. Let's all laugh. All these Labour politicians, they're kind of going on social media going, oh, I say, reform's all racist. And people are turning around and absolutely giving them pelters for saying, the Labour Party, you're saying what? And I keep going on. Not that I'm trolling them. I just go on and say, don't worry. If you think that another political party is racist, then just come out of politics, because you're going to be on the dole at the next general election. They don't like it. Don't like it up them, Captain Mannering. So we'll talk about the Royals and Geoffrey and Randy, Pandy, Andy, and Fergie. I mean, from my sources. How can I put this delicately? Well, musical houses. We're going to talk Royals and musical houses. We're going to talk about epic losses. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what that is. But I'm also going to talk about that little cockeyed, Carnage. You know, the mayor and police and crime commissioner for London. Yeah, 9,000 cases the Met is going to have to review for rape gangs in London. Oh, don't know what she's talking about, Your Honour. The police and crime commissioner, he's in the shite. He's not going to get out of it. Matter of time, he's gone. Foxtrot Oscar, mate. Unless they're going to cheat, of course. I mean, how they would do that. And we're going to talk about Trump and his ballroom. Both of them. I mean, what does 250 million buy you? And there's other stuff going on in the White House. 250 million. How much did Obama spend on his ballroom? That'll be Big Mike swinging. I want to start with who's the enemy? Because if you noticed all this stuff, Lionel Layton says, Adrian, you'll never get that lot in. Big thing, small spaces. I'm your boy, Lionel. So who is the enemy? We'll just do a quick sit rep and then we'll kind of just dive into the shite. Who's the enemy? So all the mainstream media will have us believe that Katy Perry's going to marry ex-PM, ex-Canadian PM Trudeau. What do you call a man with a small penis? Justin. So Katy Perry is dancing with... well, she's got a tour to sell and an album that didn't do really well. And, well, what can I say? They're all weft puppets. Oh, come on, Adrian, what do you know? Can't tell you. I'll end up in fucking clink me. So I'm going to ask you a question. Katy Perry's not the... she's not the enemy. But with a man with a small penis. Justin, who's the enemy? So the newspapers will go, it's Putin, it's Russia, oh, it's Russia, we're going to have to support Ukraine by giving them more money. Really? I think I've got stats on how many Ukrainian men are dying in the war. I know that the total for Russia, this is off the top of my head, I read it over the weekend, that 1,132,000 Russians have died in this war. 1,132,000 Russian men have died in this war. Oh, hang on a second. I can't see that because I'm not looking at the Matthew Wheaton says the government. I get you. I hear you, Matthew, and I completely agree. But on the international stage, on the World Economic Forum stage, on the Fabian stage, on the Chinese Communist Party stage, they want everybody looking at Russia. Why is that then? Russia's not the enemy. I mean, there's the Donald. He's in Asia. Glad handing, shaking hands with little people, the Diddy people, and anyway, so with the Diddy people, and nobody's pointing the finger at China. Yet the Donald was mightily brassed off with the Chinese President Xi Ping Pong. The enemy isn't Russia. It's China. I keep telling you, when I drop subtle hints, read between the lines. When I tell you that I've been to Davos and I've spoken to the Davosians, or however they pronounce them, they're like Macams. It's not the English language. Well, it never used to be, Macams and Takams. But the Chinese, the people of Davos were complaining that there was too many Chinese going to the World Economic Forum. Because, look, in communism, because that's what China is, all men are equal, except some men are more equal than others, so they'll get all their bed and breakfast and all their stuff paid for as people that can visit the World Economic Forum. But now, a former NSA chief in America, a guy called General Tim Hawke, he's saying that China has been inside America's infrastructure networks for at least 5 years. And China is targeting American water, electrical power, and transportation. Can you see what's happening? Oh, Rev, digital ID. And once that's in, they've got control of the American water, the American electrical system and power and transportation. Cars won't go anywhere. Trams won't go anywhere. Electric trains won't go anywhere. Nobody can move. And who's had that kind of system for years? The Chinese Communist Party. That's why they're at WEF, because WEF's doing the Chinese bidding. Don't you understand that now? Russia's not the enemy. They're making you look that way when you should be looking that way. Just saying. As I keep telling you. Now look, there's a couple of the Donald, before he fecked off to Asia, he's turned round and told Venezuela, by the way, we are sending our biggest massive warship down into your bay because we're not happy with you. Well, they wouldn't be, would they? Because Venezuela is the second biggest producer of oil in the world, ever. And I've told you, what are the 6 central banks that the Rothschilds want control of? And once they have control of those 6 central banks, they will have control of everyone's money around the world. Period. So, do you want me to tell you again, just in case you're new to the body of the cook and you're thinking, what the bloody hell's going on here? We're sticking together. It's a community that understands that we are the resistance. Should I wear a beret? So I'm going to give you these countries again. And I know that you understand this because you've been a regular to the body of the Kirk for the last 3 years. But remember, it was Syria. That's kind of been ticked off. That particular box has been ticked. And then we've got Russia. Oh, they're the enemy. And China. No, they're really the enemy. And then we've got Iran and North Korea and Hungary. Now, just had you wished, as they say in the northeast of England, hang on to your hats or grab your Rolex, because Hungary is where Putin and the Donald are going to meet to thrash out the peace deal for Ukraine. But Rev, what are you saying? I'm saying keep your eyes open, man. Hungary, not as in Hank, Hungary is where they're going to sort the peace deal out, the Ukrainian peace deal. You know, the laundrette, the Ukrainian laundrette. Hungary? Why is that then? Because Hungary's one of the... Look, the Donald isn't one of the shadow dwellers. He's not, but he knows who they are. So there are people above him pulling his strings. And he knows who's pulling his strings, and he's just trying to sort out, because he loves the royal family. He loves a generation or 3. Look, I've told you before, the powerful, they only ever concentrate on 3 generations. Everybody else concentrates on what they're going to do on Saturday night. So the Donald has got the 3 generations down to Baron, and he'll be training Baron. I mean, Baron's an imposing figure, but Hungary? Because that's one of the central banks that they want to control. And what's the other one? Venezuela. And the Donald's told Venezuela, trying to get the president gone, so the Rothschilds can kind of steam in there and take the central bank. That'll be another one ticked off. So it was 7 or 8, with Iraq was included. It was 7 or 8. And now we're down to 5 in a couple of years. All of this will be sorted by 2030. The UN's 2030, Agenda 2030. So you just have to, it's all really simple and it's all in plain sight. They're just doing stuff that they need to do to complete everything by 2030. They're trying to get it done by 2027. Some of it will trip over 2030 to maybe 2031 or 2032. But they know the shadow dwellers, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers et al., and the Walton family, they're all sitting there going, oh, very nice, yes. How much did that cost us? Nothing. Oh, wonderful. Oh, did Donald sort all that out? Oh, lovely. And there's Charles the Weak, one of the oldest bloodlines in the world ever. And look what he's doing. Feck all. Oh, Andy, man, what problem are you bringing me now? Well, I can stay in Royal Lodge, right? But me and, Fergie, the ginger one, we'll swap you. What do you mean, swap me? Yeah, we'll swap you. You take Royal Lodge, and is this a game of Royal Monopoly or something? You take Royal Lodge, and we'll take was it Adelaide and Frogmore? Has King Billy left Adelaide College? Is he? Because he's going off to somewhere else, isn't he? Yeah. So has he left? No. So can we have Adelaide Cottage and Frogmore Cottage until we kind of shuffle off and our girls, they're princesses. Can they stay? Of course, it's utter rollocks. Of course, it's just, well, it's Charles the Weak. Oh, Andy man, I'm getting it tight from Camilla. What do you bloody want now? Well, how are you, Charles? I mean, I don't want to walk around Buck Pal because they're doing the renovations, and I don't want to keep running around shouting for Charlie because it takes me into a whole world of pain. But it's just there for your entertainment. You do realise that Sniffy is... Hang on, I can't say that. Legally, I can't say that. Well, let's just say, I'm going to ask you a question. Why is Sniffy standing there next to Charles the Weak and inspecting the guard? Howie, man, Sniffy, how much money are you going to give me, man? I'm the King of England. I'm the oldest bloodline. Well, one of them. One of the oldest bloodlines in the world, man. Come on, cough. Do you want me to hold your knackers? Cough. Happy finish, Sniffy. So, we might talk a little bit more about the Royals in but a couple of minutes. I want to get onto the Sarah Potchin. Is it Potchin? Is that how you pronounce her second name? And her comments. And I'm going to ask you before I get into kind of talking about it, because I'm sure you're well aware of it. Cuban Pete's already voted, as has Reg D and Alan. I'm going to ask you a straight question about Sarah Potchin. Do you think the left have overreacted? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Has the left overreacted? They're calling reform racist. I mean, I saw Narinder Kaur. She's just a rage baiter. And in my view, John 1 Kenobi, 1, Soul Rebel, Ian McGee, Rich, Kaz, 987, Paul McCockey, View Bovril, Rich D, Matthew Whedon and Alan are all saying, yeah, are the left being racist? Everybody is saying yes. And John 1 Kenobi says, Sarah's right. Now I'm, and Grok, the AI, says, yeah, Sarah's right. Factually correct. There's a huge media pylon, but you know that there's two things going on here. One, they want you to forget about the 9,000 rape incidents that the Met are going to have to investigate. They're going to sweep that one under the carpet. Oh, it's going to go. It's going to Foxtrot Oscar. Oh, Mayor Carnage doesn't want that sitting on his desk in his in tray. No, don't be bloody stupid. And they want you to forget about that, the raping of white children. No, they want you to forget. So there's this huge media pylon, and as I said at the beginning, Paulie said, yes, the vast majority of the country aren't asked anymore to be brand racist, past caring. John One Kenobi, statistically. BD Ko, Narinda, the Geordie Jigs, or Koa. She's just a disgusting excuse for a human being, in my view. I live in Gosforth. I'm a Geordie. Well, you know how the Mackhams feel about the Geordies. She's just a gobshite that talks shite. And she uses her skin tone. I don't use mine. I'm a bit pink with an orange shirt on. I don't care about fucking skin tone. I don't care. It's what you do. I don't need to ask people questions about who they are and what they do. I just watch their actions. That tells me everything I want to know. And Narinda Kaur, just watching her actions, tells me everything I need to know about her. Oh, BD cool. Dr. 69, I'm with you. All fur coat. But she's just saying, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Now, let me tell you, this might be a bit of a dance tonight, but let me tell you this. Reform are going to be the next government in however many years. When this country gets this country to a general election, all of the Labour Party can kiss their arse goodbye. Bye-bye, hairy derriere. You're off, you're finished, you're on the dole. Because we know you're all corrupt. We know you're all fucking deviants because you're left-wing deviants. Because we know, as has been proven many times in the past, and the money, Jesus H. Don't talk to me about fat lad Wes Streeting. Fuck me, how ugly is that man? I mean, I would take a picture of him and put it over the fireplace to keep the kids away from the fire. And he's trying to tell us that, oh, no, Reform are all racist. Well, mate, you threaten to push people under a fucking train. Oh, quality, classy, Streeting. No, he wants to be the next Prime Minister. He wants to be in charge. He wants to be Johnny Big Bollocks. Well, he's on the dole at the next general election. On the dole. Should we talk about the £375,000 that man has trousered in donations? Oh, well, they're called donations, so it's all above board and legal. Hadaway and shite. 375,000. Who did you give that to then? But you didn't give it to charity. Thieving bastard. Couldn't see me lips move. So they're all at it. All of them. They have the power. They're being corrupted by the power. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. All of them. And Streeting's now coming out. Not out. Coming out and saying this and, you know, there's going to be a leadership contest soon. I might throw me hat in the ring. Well, you can take your hat and fuck off. I don't care about me potty mouth tonight. There's even worse stuff coming in a minute that'll get you aerated. Not as much, probably more than me. So let's stay with Sarah Potchin and politics. It's just a political pylon. It's just those in the Westminster bubble who are just talking out of their derrieres. So AI, Grok, and other AIs agree with Sarah Potchin and everybody else in the country that is from this sceptred isle and can go back generation after generation after generation, can see that, look, I'm a Mackham, I'm from the northeast, but so are my family for 1,500 years. Same colour, ginger, I mean, it's been a burden, but ginger. And that idiot, huge media pylon, all the left-wing twats are piling on. But you know what's happening? The rest of the country that agree with Sarah Potchin are just sitting there. Right. Tick that box. I'll just wait another couple of years. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, she's done. That party's gone. Because they're saying, oh, it's the bloody Tories. Well, accordingly to polls, Tories are only going to get 7 seats, the general election. Who said they're a mad hatter? John One Kenobi. It's a glue, John One Kenobi. And so the Tories are finished. And I've said this before the last general election. They're done, they're over, they're finished. The parasitical classes, or the political classes, if you wish, are done. Do you not understand what I'm saying to you? Because it's really easy and simple to see. because what they're doing, and I might ask you a question in a moment. The left wing have had their moment. They had it with Tony Blair. Things can only get better. Well, they didn't, did they? No. Well, for Sherry, it did. She had some bird, Carol Kaplan, giving her a scrub down in the shower every morning. Fact. And there's Tony Blair. Importuning other men in toilets on the heath. Oh, I say. Look for Anthony Charles Linton with a Y. You won't get Blair or Anthony, just Charles Linton with a Y. Bow Street Magistrates. Do your own homework. And so I see you says, what's going to replace them? Reform's going to replace them. And then if Reform don't, I think Farage has the Trump playbook, and he'll get 2 terms at least. But he's fighting the WHO, the WEF, the UN. He's fighting all of that because their agenda's coming in. They're not going to stop. It's all going to come in. But you know something? Even when AI is telling the media that Sarah Pochin is correct statistically, the media are piling on. Oh, no. Well, let me say this. The fucking media is silent on the 9,000 rape incidents in London. They're silent on the rape gangs in this country. The media are complicit. Oh, we can have a go at Reform. The only reason they're having a go at Reform is because they can't control them. So grooming gangs, rape gangs, raping our children because those children are white. And nothing, I mean, it's not front page every day, every single day, every single week, every single month. Why not? Because they're corrupt at the top. And the Labour Party, because we've seen, because of the grooming inquiry, they're not going to call it the rape inquiry, they're going to call it the grooming inquiry. And, well, it's not happening. It's not happening because they chopped its legs off. So in my view, the left are over-amplifying their own demise. They're finished. They're over. They've had their time. They've had, nearly 30 years of some kind of power-ish. It's done. It's finished. It's over. Do you want me to go into Blair? Do you want me to... hang on, I'll rephrase that. Do you want me to give you insights into Blair? You should already know all this. Do you want to give you insights into Brown? You should already know all of this. Do you want me to give you insights into... fucking hell! 2 tier. Have you not been paying attention for the last 14, 15 months? The left are done. Because I've told you this many times before. The people that matter... And do you know what I would do? I would bring in a law where everybody has to vote at the next general election. Everybody, except anybody under the age of 18. Because they know fuck all about life. They're taking ketamine and getting off their tits because they're empty. They're dead inside. And they want them to vote because they'll vote Labour. Look, I can testify for that. Me and my teenage years, in Sunderland, I was rabidly Labour. Rabidly Labour. The mining, the ships, the steel. Rabidly Labour. And then I got out in the big bad wide world, started moving about the country, the UK and Europe, and started moving around and got to see life a bit. And then thought, actually, things can only get better. And they didn't. So everybody agrees with what Sarah Pochin is saying. Everybody that's voted on here. And to sort of follow on from that, what they're doing is what they're trying to do is they're trying to buy into your moral indignation. And they know how to twist your melon, man. They're trying to tune into your moral indignation. So what's the story today? Rich, very good point. Before I move on to what I'm about to say, it kind of dovetails with the Labour Party. Rich says, but that was when Labour actually represented the working man. I agree, Rich. Problem is the working man's a greedy man. Well, man or woman. I mean, look at the 80s. Notice how everybody got cheap accommodation by buying their homes, their council homes, from Thatcher and the Tory government, because Thatcher knew, because of the strikes, whether it was the steel industry or whether it was the miners, she sold off the bloody our ability to make the world's greatest ships off to China and the Far East and Taiwan. And that's why the yards disappeared in on the Tyne, on the Weir, in Glasgow-ish. We made world beaters. But she knew if a man and or a woman had a home that they needed to take care of, and thereby a mortgage, a man would never strike a day in the rest of his life. And hasn't that been proven to be true? So the working man, two cars at the door on their drive, on the council house that they bought 40 years ago. And now the working man's still voting for a political party that just does not exist in their psyche. In the 90s, we were liberal. We stayed the same while the world changed around us. That's a very good point, BD. Cool. But this moral indignation, all they're doing is they want you inflamed. They want me to rant on and you inflamed with moral indignation. Because we're coming up to, nobody cares about the Americanization of Halloween. How does that work then? Trick or treat. I mean, I've had some fantastic conversations in this house around trick or treat. And I am the grumpiest old fucker you've ever met in your life. I've been working on it for decades. They don't knock on my door. I'll tell you for why. The last time, I'm not to talk out of school, but I'm having how can I put this delicately? I'm having a canoodle on Halloween on my sofa with a young lady, and so there's a knock on the door, and I'm like, yeah, they can foxtrot Oscar. I'm not answering that. I'm, partially clothed. No, I'm not answering that. I thought, cheeky feckers. No, they can get stuffed. So I then heard footsteps, multiple footsteps across my garden. Crunch, 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 crunch. Because at this time of the year, there's loads of trees that let their leaves fall. Crunch, 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 crunch. I can feck off. Not interested. And then about 5 minutes later, crunch, 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 crunch. Now I'm wise to it. So I'm thinking, right, they're going to come. No, man, I'm enjoying myself. I'm not going to be answering the door. There's no knock on the door. Letterbox opening. Letterbox closing. What the bloody hell's that? Have they set the house on fire? No, can't smell any burning. So a couple of minutes go by, more canoodling, and literally the woman I was with screamed the bloody house down. And I said to her, it's not that big, it's not to be afraid of. And she was like, no. I mean, like proper. And I said, what the bloody hell's wrong with you, woman? She said, he. I said, are you having a stroke? Comedy opening. You can make the gags up. I can't. I'm a gentleman. Are you having a stroke? And she said, I've just seen something move in the waste paper basket near the TV. Have you? Yeah. Next thing I see, there's this little field mouse trying to jump its way out of my waste paper basket. And I was like, so hang on, what did you see? She said, I saw it run, and the living room was quite a long living room, quite a big and long living room. She said, I saw this thing run across and then just jump in the waste paper basket. I said, how the bloody hell did it get in here? Because I'm now massively brassed off that my evening of entertainment has been kind of killed off. So she said, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. I said, I bet you say that to all the boys. Get rid of it, get rid of it. I said, oh, all right then. So I said, well, I can't put it outside because those little feckers, I'll bring it back in and put it back through the letterbox. And ever since that day, those little feckers, doesn't matter how hard people knock on my door, your name's not down, you're not coming in. And some people say, oh, come on, Adrian, you could, buy them some sweets. And I'm like, no, it's just bribery. Oh, Matthew Whedon, I threw stink bombs on our path one year to stop trick-or-treaters from knocking on our door. I am not worthy, Matthew. I am not worthy. I'm going to remember that one. That's very good, Woodfit. Waste of time taking a dog and then, if you won't even let a mouse watch. But I had to throw the bugger out into my garden. I mean, obviously it had a long and happy and healthy life. But the little feckers, because I wouldn't give them, type 2 diabetes, they decided, have you got a mouse? Yeah. Shall we? Yeah. Right, you open it and I'll put the mouse in. Oh, BD cool. Up our way, it was fireworks through the letterbox. I'd have picked that figure up and shoved them up their derrieres. Oh, I see you. I'm thinking about getting a talking doorbell. Well, you can get an alert on your phone and you can see if their costumes are any good. Should I go downstairs and answer the door? I mean, I have said to the new Mrs. Allen, look, we'll get a big tub of stuff and just give them handfuls of sweets to go away and die from type 2 diabetes. And she said, you only want to do that because you want to eat the sweets, not them. You won't answer the bloody door. You'll eat all the sweets yourself. Well, mea culpa. So let's get back to moral indignation. So we've had generations fight for our ability to converse in an adult way. This current government won't allow us to, but the glory of war. And now, and I've told you multiple times, humanity does not need the legal industry. It's a rich man's folly. Whether it's solicitors, barristers, judges, they're only there to make money out of nothing. That's all they're there for. They'll spend other people's monies except their own. So now, in Upton on the Wirral, the Remembrance Day parade is cancelled due to health and safety fears. What? The Wokerati are at it again. I mean, I know the Wirral is where the Scousers go if they've made a bit of money, that and Southport. So Upton on Wirral is saying we can't have our Remembrance Day parade. We've got to cancel it because the local council has said, health and safety fears. Wow. We can't commemorate our own on Remembrance Sunday in Upton on Wirral. So they're striking that particular blue touch paper and standing well back. They want us to rise up and kick off big time. So you see, they're after our moral indignation rising up, that rage, that moral indignation coming up and kicking off. That's what they're after. But if we just start laughing at them, because they're ridiculous now, their ineptitude is ridiculous. Oh, we might get sued. Well, look, let's just say to the legal industry, AI is going to take over now. Up yours, it's all free. I'll sign up to Chat GPT for 20 quid a month and I'll get rid of my legal team. Because AI is going to be better than any legal team. So we'll see a whole load of barristers and judges, bless them, be wearing stockings and suspenders when they lash out sentences. I know Des says it's planned, it's deliberate and planned provocation. I completely get that. I agree with you. That's why I'm mentioning it. But there's people that are oh, that's so sad. No, it's not. fucking sad. Stand up to these morons that are dictating what you can and can't do. Health and fucking safety. I subscribe to the Dirty Harry HR health and safety. I know Adam stops the cash cow. Health and safety fears. What they're worried about? People keeling over with heart attacks. Got more chances of that happening from the jibber jabber than fucking doing a Remembrance Day parade. It's about remembering the fallen. Don't they get it? Those people that laid down their lives, whether it was the army, the navy, the merchant navy, because they, along with the navy, they had the supply routes. The merchant navy played just as big a part as the navy and the army and the air force, certainly in the Second World War. And they're telling us, oh no, health and safety. Oh, just honestly, just how do we end shite, man? And by the way, if you're feeling generous this evening, you can smash the likes. See if we can get over 100. There's 150 people watching this at the minute. Let's talk about the Royals very quickly before I get into like deeper stuff. So Virginia Giuffre, the dead man's switch from the grave. Some of the secrets are coming out of the bag. Now, I've decided if I can find it, I'm not going to order it through Amazon, because if I'd ordered it yesterday from Amazon, it would come next week. So they don't want people talking about the book this week. And even, Randy Pandy just, I'll move. Charles, man, I'll move. So long as you give us Adelaide Cottage. It's not a cottage. It's fucking huge. It's the size of a housing estate. But Virginia Giuffre is not stupid. She was never stupid. She put in her book, Ghislaine Maxwell. And there's a reason why I call her Ghislaine Maxwell, because that's how her name's pronounced. In the book, Virginia Giuffre says that Maxwell bragged that she gave George Clooney a bit of a nosh. Well, not a bit of a nosh, an actual blowjob. So Ghislaine took George Clooney into a bathroom and said, "Can I say hello to me mum, me dad, and all me family and anybody else that knows me?" It's not a radio gag. But Ghislaine bragged to Giuffre about dragging George into a bathroom at a party. Mucky tart. But let's face it, that's why the kids are all into ketamine. I mean, can you imagine today's youth doing that kind of stuff? No. So Virginia Giuffre alleges she was trafficked to the artist formerly known as Prince. No, Randy Pandy. And she rang a boyfriend in 2001. Now remember, 2001 was only 4 years after Diana's murder. So anybody that was trafficked to Randy Pandy would have been shitting themselves, because they would have viewed it that the royal family just take out anybody that they don't like. I'm hearing there's more emails to come out. Now, Randy, artist formerly known as Prince, wants a bog off. Buy one, get one free. So he's coming out of Royal Lodge. Deal's already done. And I told you back in December when I told you that Jeffrey Epstein was going to make an appearance in 2025, and you were fellow Horatio Nelson, how I say, Adam Wellsmith, it was the Queen Mother. She take her teeth out first. So you've got a situation where it's so close to Diana's murder. I believe she was murdered. It's just my view. And I was working for the fired organisation at the time. I believe she was bumped off. But Pandy wants a bug off. Buy one, get one free. And the point I was going to make was, he's off to the Middle East. Because, look, the Qataris have got so much bloody money. They've got more money than our royal family. Our royal family have got the priceless jewels and the priceless art and the stuff that you can't buy. There's not enough money in the world to buy some of the jewellery and some of the bits and pieces that this royal family have in their possession. Yeah, she did. Was it Beryl Reid they likened the Queen Mother to on Spitting Image? Loads of G&Ts. So I believe Andy's going to go off to the Middle East. They'll call him HRH all day there. They'll call him Prince Andrew all day there. And they'll go, oh, fucking hell, man, Andy, who's the ginge? We don't have gingers out here. Who is she? Oh, that's my ex-wife. Well, can you make her a bit more ex? I mean, I was told that, how can I put this delicately? When you kind of dance with Fergie, you have no idea. You cannot comprehend what it's like. And obviously that's why Andy, Randy, Pandy married her. Skills. So Royal Lodge is going to be kind of into two. But I mean, who's going to take Royal Lodge then? It's not going to be King Billy. Who else have they got? It's not King Meghan and Ginger Sphericals. But we know that Royal Lodge, he's going to be gone. He's going to be done. He's finished. He's going to go to the Middle East. And my sources were telling me this a year ago. He's done, and it's all for show. What do they say? The military-industrial complex is the entertainment. Sorry, politics is the entertainment arm of the military-industrial complex for ugly people. But will Fergie write another book? Well, she can do. I mean, look at the situation they're in. What's she going to do? Do another budgie book? She could do. She could call it Budgie Smugglers. I mean, Randy wants Adelaide and Frogmore cottages for him and Fergie. How weird, man. What, 4 bedrooms each? So from what I'm being told, this is the life of the artist formerly known as Prince. He goes riding in the morning. Oh, I say, Fergie, Fergie, shall we smuggle this one into town? Obviously goes riding in the morning, but with young fillies. And in the afternoon, he sits on the sofa watching Jet TV on YouTube. And then in the evening, well, obviously he'll have dinner and go to bed, and there's a couple of Timmy tanks. And the cleaners have got to go into his bedroom the next day and pick up his cum-stained tissues. Clean up his used tissues. I mean, staff. I mean, I watched the Guinness thing on Netflix because they had extraordinary amounts of money, and the head of the household took all the cleaners into one particular bedroom, whilst one member of the Guinness family was having their wicked way with somebody who wasn't a member of the Guinness family, and they said, "There's no coitus interruptus here. We just come in here, pun intended. We just come in here and we clean up." Does that include the tissues? Oh, yes, we don't interrupt them until they're finished, and then we clean up. All I'm going to say is, where did the £12 million come from to pay Geoffrey? Was it the Queen? Was it the artist formerly known as Prince? Randy Pandy? Or did Fergie, Ginge, get it out of Epstein? Paid her off. Are you aware of adrenochrome? So as I said at the beginning of this live, there may be moments where I'm a little obtuse, I'm a little vague. I mean, you're going to have to work this out yourself because some of it's quite dangerous. But I can say that it's awfully quiet for the Clintons. What the bloody hell are you saying that for, Adrian? Oh, yeah, Rev, what you got? Nothing. The doctor gave me a cream for it. Says it'll be clear in a fortnight. Now, whether this is true or not, it's entirely down to you to keep your bloody eyes open and see if my sources are as impeccable as I think they are. So, Hillary is going to be arrested. Not going to say any more than that. Wonder why she's going to be arrested. I've no idea. There's a Q post from 2017 saying that Hillary Clinton is going to be arrested. Now, Hillary Rodham Clinton, her extradition is already in motion, effective yesterday, from what I understand, with several countries in case of cross-border run. Because remember, when the Epstein thing was all kicking off last year, the two of them, the Killarys, went off and went down to Mexico. Give us a sombrero, please, Willie. So it looks like, as of the end of this week, her passport has been approved to be flagged, effective this Thursday. Now remember, it's all kicking off in America. If it kicks off in America, 6 months later, it'll kick off here. So my source is saying, expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the United States to occur. I understand that the US Marines will conduct the operation while National Guard are being activated. Proof check? Well, just keep your peepers open. It's there for you. Now, a lot of time I will get offended. A lot of the time, I can't give you it all. But from what I understand, the National Guard is being put in place for stuff to kick off in November, to kick off big time in America, in certain cities. I mean, if you look at number one on Netflix, it's A House Full of Dynamite with Idris Elba trying to be the American president with a really shite American accent. So seemingly, somebody, shall we play a game? Somebody offed some intercontinental ballistic missile. This is obviously just storytelling. But an intercontinental ballistic missile has been offed from somewhere and they don't know where it's been launched from. I mean, all those satellites around the globe and they don't know where it's been shot from. And the Russians, in the story, they say, no, weren't us. Have you had a word with the Chinese? Not us. Have you had a word with the North Koreans? Now, I know most people are completely oblivious to Q. That's not the bloke from the James Bond movies Before You Start. So apart from Hillary's arrest, and some people, the conspiracy theorists, say she was executed at Gitmo in 2018, what is doubtful to Joe Public about the rest? Aren't we seeing everything mentioned being made ready right now? All comms are telling us to buckle up, buttercup, grab your popcorn. I mean, it's a fantastic time to be alive because the veil's being pulled from everybody's eyes. We can see what's going on. We can see that the French president is married to a bloke. Well, I mean, we don't care. It's the lies and the cover-up that does for them. So watch out for the Macron sphericals. French President Emmanuel Macron's wife, Brigitte Macron, learned her tax account on France's official government website listed her as a male under the name of Jean-Michel. I laughed so hard, I burst my incontinence pants. It's coming. They're trying to cover it up. I don't know why they're trying to cover everything up. Because we have this thing, the internet, we have X, where freedom of speech goes. So they can't cover it up. I mean, there's the Macrons threatening Candace Owens, and then they pull their case against her for saying that Emmanuel is, married to a bloke. We don't care. Do whatever makes you happy. We don't care. Look at Charlie Kirk and the three-letter agencies. Because the CIA and the FBI literally run the world. under the auspices of the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bloodlines, the WEF, the Chinese Communist Party. They're all in bed together. MI5 and MI6 are in bed with the CIA. Regime change worldwide. But I'm going to ask you this. Who killed Charlie Kirk? Because as I was saying right in the very beginning of this live, can you not see that they just distract you with shit? I mean, Katy Perry and a man with a small penis. Justin. Who cares? Look, be happy. Live a long and healthy life. Be happy, but just Foxtrot Oscar, man. We've had enough. As Les Griffiths says, for those doubting Q, not the bloke from the Bond movies, if it's a LARP, it's a technical term, you'll have to go and do your own research. Who executed Senator John McCain and ex-President G.W.H. Bush? That's George Herbert Walker. I think it's G.H.W. Les. George Herbert Walker Bush, head of the CIA when JFK was unalived. He was there at the time. Pictures taken on plane and everything. So I'm going to give this to you as prima facie evidence. A witness to Charlie Kirk's assassination says Kash Patel's FBI told him to delete his footage of the incident, which could conflict with the Bureau's official account. Oops. Guy called Ryan Simmons says he sent the video to the FBI, believing he was helping out, but was instead told to erase it from his phone because it might trigger PTSD or another bullet. And agents then contacted him to confirm that he deleted the video. And Simmons says, "Oh well, yeah. Fox Oscar, have a bollocks." No, he said he saved it and archived the footage on his hard drive. So this Charlie Kirk, when they distract you with 9,000 rape gang cases that the Met are now going to have to review, and the Mayor of London, who's the crime and police and crime commissioner, and the Prime Minister, who's not allowing an inquiry into rape gangs in North. All of this is meant to distract you from that. So Charlie Kirk, we don't even know whether he's dead or alive. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Sorry. Must be the hibiscus tea. So this Charlie Kirk assassination, it stinks, man. That's why all of a sudden, all of the social media sleuths were like, no, that's not happening. No. Is it Project Blue Beam? What is it? Is it? Are we using really fancy cameras? I mean, we've literally just learned that the judge presiding over the trial of Charlie Kirk's alleged killer is considering a request to ban all cameras during the trial, as well as allowing Robinson to wear regular clothes throughout, not the usual orange jumpsuit. Somebody might get PTSD or something. It stinks. The whole thing stinks. And Kash Patel, he just looks... I mean, when was the last time you drank a really strong cup of coffee? Every time I see Kash Patel, hello, Kash, how are you doing? Oh, Kenny, hi, Kenny. Bloody hell, Kash, man. Have you been on really strong coffee again? Oh, yeah. There's Griffiths. Kirk is in Valhalla, New Zealand, before anybody asks. Have you watched the YouTube channel Jesse on Fire? He has pretty good theories. Have I? No. But thank you, Napoleon Blown Apart. I'll give it a peeper. Des Ashton, acute onset, high-speed lead poisoning. But it's just all, it's a distraction. All of it. So, let's get to Lucy Powell. It's coming out today. Out. Lucy Powell. political assassination. I mean, I set out my theory that they're trying to get Burnham into the hot seat, but they can't put Burnham up as a candidate anywhere because anywhere is going to get eviscerated by reform. So they can't have the embarrassment. That's why he's backed off, because it's all being set up by the Manchester Mafia. Defendant. That's a very good impression of Espresso Patel. That's very good. So they need him because, look, if you look at the political landscape, who is capable of taking over from Starmer? No one. Ginger Growler, that's what it was all set up to do. But he wants the whole 9 yards, or the whole bag of Coca-Cola. And there he's off to Brazil. I mean, didn't anybody tell him? He's going to COP30. Kia, mate. Brazil doesn't start all the fiesta and stuff until January. So what are you going in bloody November for? Things can only get better. Who are you going to have a shower with? Have a word with Carol Kaplan. She loved it. You know, with Tony's missus, Sherry. Why didn't he just call her Cherry? Just in case she popped. So you've got all of this going on, and Starmer is fecking off again. He's never here, Kia. Never here. Why is he going to Brazil? Is he going dancing? I know a couple of groups that could go out with him. Fun Boy 3, 4 Tops. I mean, there's loads of others. Maybe he just wants to be serenaded of an evening with a guitar. So we won't go any more into that. But ask the question, why is Kia going to COP30 in Brazil? Brazil? Carnival? No, mate, it's January, not November. So they'll be now going on. Mush. It's like the World Economic Forum. Oh, all of the cleaners then just descend on Davos. Yeah, you can buy the cleaners by the half hour, by the way. So Lucy Powell. So I'll give you the glorious political landscape that is Westminster. So Lucy Powell is now deputy leader of the Labour Party. She only got, so out of 100% of Labour members, and they are the most, they have the most members of any political party in this country, 16.6% of the Labour members voted for Lucy. And the vote had to be shored up by the unions because the membership just couldn't care less. Is this the equivalent of just being down to Labour Party apathy at grassroots level? Because look at the Tory parties. So the Tory party had 2 candidates for leader of the Tory party, the parliamentary Tory party. And what did they do? They voted the wrong one in. So the electorate, the Tory party membership, out in the grassroots, out in the wilds, they voted for Liz Truss, the lettuce. And the Tory party went, no, you voted the wrong bloody way, man. Bit like Ireland and the EU. You voted the wrong bloody way, man. Vote again until you get it right. What do you mean until we get it right? Until you pick the person that we want you to pick. It's not Liz Truss. No, it should have been the other one, Cockeyed. So now, people are like, why should I vote? It's just a whole load of rollicks. So Lucy Powell, 16.6% of the Labour members voted. 83.4% didn't. 83.4%, to be accurate. So look, everybody hates Starmer. Everybody's laughing at him. I mean, is he wound up by a key at the back? They're trying to get him to smile. They're trying to get him to be human. He's not. He's a bloody robot. He's a wef robot. He's doing as he's told. He's taking orders and doing them. He's a Manchurian candidate. He's working not on behalf of the great British public. He's not. He's working for a foreign power, the Chinese fucking Communist Party. Don't you get it? I mean, I'm going to do a video tomorrow where I'm going to tell you where the fucking money's going. The Chinese Communist Party. Chinese Communist Party owns a shit ton of America. They've got businesses left, right, and centre here, and they're taking hundreds of millions of pounds of taxpayers' money and just putting it in their trouser pocket. Thieving bunch of bastards. Technical term. You know what a Manchurian candidate is, don't you? It's not Lucy Powell, although she is Fabian. She's been to their events. She's written for their website. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and waddles like a duck, it's a fucking duck. So everybody hates Starmer. And it's literally this dancing, this tap dancing, that he's just trying to stay alive politically within the Labour Party. He's got his own membership at him. He's got the electorate at him. He just thinks it's the cut and thrust of politics. An unfortunate turn of phrase considering knife crime in London. Andor, who's doing the thrusting? You dirty old tart. And now Labour grassroots are saying, no, we've had enough of them at the top. They're just lying. They just lie all the time. And now Wes Streeting is showing up to throw his hat in the ring. Well, look, if this was a boxing match, Starmer would love a battering in the ring. And Wes Streeting, he's throwing his hat in the ring. There's too much work around rings going on for my liking. But Wes Streeting, 375,000. He trousered. He took 375,000 in donations. They're all at it, man. They're as bent as 9-bob notes. These people are crooked. The power corrupts them. They're crooked. They're just there for the money. Get the snout in the fucking trough. I want to make hundreds of thousands of pounds, if not millions. And we're like paying our taxes and our national insurance, thinking, are these politicians actually going to do anything for us? No, they're not interested. Wes Streeting, he couldn't give a flying fuck. So do you want the really deep, dark stuff that I want to talk about this evening? The mainstream media won't cover this. They won't. Under any circumstances. Now, I've told you before, I trust the medical profession in this country about as far as I can spit them. Look, I'll just take care of myself. But if I break an arm or an leg or I need something doing that I can't do myself, then I'm going to have to. But in America, RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr., is now on the case of the organ harvesters. I'm not talking a pub, by the way. So RFK is going after multiple American hospitals who routinely perform organ removal on living patients. It's too dark. This is really dark. And I intend to do more and more and more research around this, including what goes on in Grand Britannia. But this kind of shit gets you killed. RFK, he's after the organ harvesters. The federal government has launched sweeping investigations, decertifications, and a robust purge on the entire US transplant system. Kennedy has said, and I am quoting, "This isn't medicine, it's murder." So just remember, whatever happens in America happens here. Is this the next big American scandal? And the junior doctors in this country taking comfort in their 5-day strikes? So in America, there is a lawsuit happening that the mainstream media are not talking about under any circumstances whatsoever. There's a lawsuit, and it's been centralized into a federal multi-district litigation in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. It happened in February 2024. It's still going through process. And as of this month, this year, the docket has grown to 2,809 cases and is still growing. What am I talking about? Ozempic. Ozempic's creator, Novo Nordisk, just got hit with a $2 billion lawsuit after it left 1,800 people permanently blind. So the lawsuit is not a single claim. There are now 2,800 individuals and consolidated personal injury claims filed by the patients and lodged in the US courts. There's too much money in the fat jabs. There's too much money. 2 billion quid? It's not even a round of drinks. But they're being taken to court. So what's your mainstream media? They're not going to tell you about it. They can't. Big Pharma runs the world. So earlier tonight, I was thinking about, yeah, exactly, Reg D. At least we knew what Al Capone looked like. Yeah, and at least Dick Turpin wore a bloody mask. I was thinking about epic losses, because there's been some doozies over the weekend. The epic migrant. But they found him. Well, no, they didn't find him. The public did. Or the police forces in London. And there's a few of them. Couldn't find him. It was the public. So epic losses over this, well, not necessarily this weekend. You've got the epic migrant. You've got David Cameron's kids. Bless him. Was the footy on the telly? And now, 9,000 historic grooming gang cases in a cover-up by the Police and Crime Commissioner in London, known as Mayor Carnage. And Met Police. So, you know what's going to happen, don't you? Well, David Cameron, everybody laughed at him. The epic migrant, nobody's laughing at him. He's going to be deported. He's going to be deported. Fat Lammy's gastric band as he stood up in Parliament yet and said, right, I'm head of, it's me. I'm head of the inepts. It's going to be me. Nicholas says, yes, Prime Minister has never been more relevant. All grifters. I couldn't agree with you more, Nicholas. And when it was in Yes, Prime Minister, everybody just thought it was comedy. Everybody thought it was just made up comedy. And now we're finding out it's not. It's real life. I may need to ask you a question. Because Alan said Lammy's letting the bastard go again. He's deporting him. He'll be back again. He was already gone once. He's come back. And they're going to deport him again. Where to? Out of Mongolia. Donald Trump's in Asia. And there's a big kickoff in America. Or just around this. So Trump in his balls room. Must be a snooker fan. 250 million quid. On White House renovations is the technical term. Just, what are you spending $250 million on? Jesus H. Is it gold encrusted, diamond encrusted, marble floors, ceilings? On a ballroom? 250 million? Somebody's taking the proverbial. So it's just a quick follow-up to some of the info that I've already given you about the tunnels under the White House. Now, remember 9/11. 9/11, all of a sudden, we've got, there's rocket launchers. There's rocket launchers on the top of the White House. Rocket launchers. Right, okay. But there's tunnels under the White House. What are they for then? Now, I'm very aware of multiple reports from very reliable sources that are beginning to comment on these tunnels and the connected tunnels throughout DC. There's miles and miles and miles of them. Now, I've already told you about the tunnels under the synagogues in New York. What were they used for? Now, my sources are stating categorically that these tunnels under DC were indeed used for nefarious purposes. I won't go too much further. Illicit meetings, but primarily to supply children to politicians. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Now, Big Mike and Barry are beginning to be named by these sources. And I'm fully expecting this subject to gain traction, exposing it to the masses. I mean, the 2011 mystery of the West Wing hole. That's not a euphemism before you start. And the question was asked in 2011, what is Bathhouse Barry, building under the White House? Again, it was hundreds of millions of pounds. And there were numerous reports emerging that all is not what it seems with the East Wing demolition. So they're getting rid of Bathhouse Barry's pied-à-terre, and $250 million later. So Trump yesterday, I think while he was flying out to Asia for the Chinese takeaway, Trump said he was working very closely with the military. What the bloody hell? So is it kind of like an escape bunker? Is it the military will know what they're doing? But Trump said, I'm working very closely with the military during the construction of the new ballroom. What? Are the military going to tap dance their way around the ballroom just to make sure that the floor works? So, this is what I'm telling you. It's emerging that the reason the East Wing was originally built was to cover up an underground bunker. It's known as the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, PEOC. It was built in 1942 to provide secure shelter and comms hub for Roosevelt and key staff. Remember 9/11? They got them down into, not the Situation Room, but they got them downstairs to make sure they were in the bunker. So the building work on the new ballroom is kind of convenient in allowing the bunker and tunnels to be destroyed. I don't know whether you fully believe it just yet, but it ties in with other stories of a web of tunnels all over DC. And I am absolutely shit sure that we will hear more on this subject in due course. But why would the military be consulted over a ballroom being built? $250 million ballroom being built. No, the wonder he's buggered off to Asia. So far this evening, we've had Pandy the Wanker. We've had the Donald and his $250 million ballroom. Strictly Trump dancing. Very good, cute and Pete. The sadness that is Upton on the Wirral. But I'm going to ask you a question now, because we are kind of hurtling towards Halloween. Going to ask you a question. Des, yeah, the adrenochrome labs, they're in Ukraine. The bio labs are in Ukraine. Oh, hasn't anybody told you? Theo Bovril, very clever, skeletons everywhere. So I'm gonna ask you, do you believe in ghosts? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Do you believe in ghosts? Are they real? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. And we're not judging here, because I think there'll be some fantastic stories, and it'll be a cross section. Adam 3, not sure. Manda Sky, Cuban Pete, Pauline Makepeace and Alan are saying yes, but the U Bovril and Matthew Whedon, English Bottle Cap, Super Ted, Paul McCockey. Paul, am I pronouncing it correctly? Pauline, no. Tom Harney's. So it's a mixture. I would say almost 50-50. Do you believe in ghosts? 1, yes. 2, no. Some are saying yes, some are saying no. So I'm now going to ask you a further question. Ooh. Marley Grassi says too many experiences, not 2. So I'm going to ask you, Pauline Makepeace, so many experiences. I'm not staying around yours. There's a comedy opening there. I'm going to ask you a slightly different question, but still the same question. Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you experienced a ghost? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Brilliant, Les Griffiths. The mother-in-law haunted me when she was alive. William Commons, don't know. English Bottle Cap and Reg D, Theo Bovril, Matthew Whedon, Manda Sky. So they said no. Manda Sky says yes. Garen Davis, Elliot. Interesting. Ian McGee and the Toon Piper are all yes. Multiple times, says Les. God, blimey. Tom Harney's, I do like a good ghost story. Interesting. Because sometimes when I think of these questions, I'll think, oh, it'll go that way or it'll go that way. Oh, Amalia says experienced, yes. Seen 1, no. So are you Claire sentient, Amalia? So you feel things? Linda Lewis, heard it. Bloody hell, what were they doing? Was it? Adam Well, I'm same as Amalia. There's a lot more fairies about nowadays, I know that. I've never seen them at the bottom of my garden. God, blimey, Manda Sky, I could write a book about all my encounters. You should do. You should do. Stephen Hall said, I felt a presence at a hospital radio station once many years ago. I'm not going to tell you about my hospital radio experience with a ghost. Because in Bishop Auckland, it was just... I'd rather have your stories than mine. I managed care homes for 25 years, says I see you. Witnessed many deaths, seen 2 spirits. Really? Did you see sort of their spirit rise from the body? Because I know when George Harrison died, his wife said just saw a white light leave his body. View Bovril, sometimes I've heard my name called when at home on my own. Yeah, I think that's a regular occurrence. But because my mum's dead. She died from cancer in 2018. I've heard her shout my name. And so I've gone downstairs and said, anybody shout? No. Sounded like my mother. Nicholas says, in the graveyard, bloke weeping, why did you have to die? Is it your wife? And he says, no, it was her first husband. Very good. Ye old trip to Jerusalem is full of them. That's in Nottingham, Alan. Have I seen a ghost, Rev, Mad Matt? No, don't think so. Felt them. So as we get, the All Hallows Eve is being Americanized because it makes money, seemingly. Oops, hang on a second. My phone's just told me I've only got 20% battery left. Schoolboy error. I haven't seen a ghost. But then again, how would you know it's a ghost? If you're interacting with it thinking it's a human being, you wouldn't think it was a ghost. But I remember Stephen Hall said, heard my mother's voice in a dream once. Alan says, old Lincolnshire air bases are pretty spooky. Wow. Well, we'll see on Friday. It is Friday, Halloween, isn't it? And then we've got bonfire night coming up. The Americans don't understand that. Neither do we, to be fair. Wow. BD Cool says, a ghost of a Roman centurion used to haunt the canteen in my old work, apparently. Ooh. Karina Jane says, I keep seeing the number 13, my late Dan's birthday. Wow. It is the, there's no such thing as coincidence in the universe, is there? So we, ooh, Mad Matt says, Rev, you and I both know Sunderland. I felt something in Vesper Tiles. It wasn't a security guard feeling your collar, was it, Mad Matt? You okay? The Dun Cow and Weatherspoons near to the Bridges shopping centre. Well, Sunderland's ancient, and there's bound to be. There's no such thing as coincidence. So I believe in the kind of numerology of things, and I believe that, for example, when my mum passed away, we had to go to the local council officers to register her death in the northeast, and so family went, and I drove, pulled up, got out the car, and there was a van next to me with this massive cartoon. Bloody hell. 2 seconds. Lauren Taylor, very accurate. It's not the dead we need to be feared of. I completely agree with you. So I got out of my car, and literally as I closed my door and turned around, there was a massive cartoon giraffe on the side of this van. And because I'm awake enough, I just said, oh, okay, I get it. And literally in the most random of places, giraffes keep appearing. This is Great Britain. They're not natural to this country, but giraffes keep turning up. And up until that point, when we went to register her death, I'd never seen a giraffe. Bloody hell, man. They're on the wilderness, the Serengeti plains of Africa. I would never see a bloody giraffe. Ooh, BD Cool says, Roman centurion wasn't a random thing. My old work is built next to an Antonine wall. Quantum entanglement across the multiverse, says Des Ashton. Yeah. English bottle cap, that's very funny. Band again says, if you're being chased by a psycho taxidermist, don't play dead. Ooh, what's that? That doc ghetto defendant. Ghosts on the underground. Don't, whatever you do, watch on your own. Stephen, oh, that's very good. When I had my ghostly experience at hospital radio, I was playing something in the air tonight. It's acacia ting subject. I see you. The ancients used to use acacia to kind of connect themselves consciously to the universe. Maybe we need to, where are we? Monday. So Wednesday. Maybe we do a kind of ghostly thing on Wednesday. I am still desperately trying to get hold of this, because I think you would find it fascinating. This ghost hunt in, is it Skinning Grove? It's a disused mine on kind of Teesside towards the coast. And to give the BBC their credit, they gave me every support. There was a ghost hunting team going to Skinning Grove mine. It's a disused mine. It's an old copper mine, disused. And I've some of the stuff that went on. And I don't really want to spoil it for you. I want you to hear it because it's theatre of the mind. It's the radio. It's a 3-hour show from 10 till 1 in the morning or just after midnight. And it literally scared the bejesus out of me. And I don't scare easy. I grew up in Sunderland. There's a lot more scary things in Sunderland, let me tell you. But it was just, do you know what table tipping is? So table tipping is where people will put their hands on the edge of the table and if there's spirit close by, the table rose and then started tipping. Nobody could do anything because their hands were on top of the table, but the table started, and this is all in there. It's all in there. And the introduction and I had people call in and talk ghostly stories. I follow that radio presenter on YouTube who did the last show on Newcastle FM. I forgot his name. Alan Robson. Oh, Alan loves his ghost stories. Absolutely loves them. Maybe we do something on... tell you, I'm trying to... There's a great documentary called Ghost. A guy called Sam living with a girl called Molly. Sam dies, comes back as a ghost. True story. Did he put the willies up her? So... Ooh, two gits in a car. Table tipping is based on the well-known ideometer principle. Watch Derren Brown. Alan says York is supposed to be the most haunted city. Well, I lived in York for a few years. Just outside of it, anyway. Adam says, maybe interview Clinton Baptiste. Just make sure Prince Andrew isn't in the building. I love Clinton Baptiste. I know Clinton Baptiste. He came on one of my LBC shows a long time ago. Love Clinton Baptiste. He's so funny. Stuart says, 5 years ago when my dog was alive, my sister said that she heard some random noises and the dog started barking his head off. She was convinced there was a ghost in our house. Wow. Well, the dog would get it. The dog would protect them. So I'll do a bit of digging. We'll do tomorrow night. I'm doing my charity work with the Mankind Project, so I'm not around for a live. But we'll do another live on Wednesday, and we'll do. Should we do ghost stories? Should we do something? Wow. Caribou, UK. Near to where I live, there are tunnels leading to the Abbey where Romans have been seen. Bloody hell. Top of 69 says, I woke up at 2:10 in the morning with chest pains to see my mum sat on the bottom of my bed holding a baby. The next day, my sister told me my mum died at 2:00. Wow. Mad Matt, you'll have to tell me more stories. I have a few, says Mad Matt. Napoleon blown apart. Yes. Okay. Well, let's have I'll put the willies up you on Wednesday. Going to Whitby next week for a Goth Week. Oh, super Ted. Is it Goth Week in Whitby? Love Goth Week because it has Whitby has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. BD cool. Yes, ghosts, ghouls, and other spookiness. Right, we'll do it on Wednesday night then. That's a deal. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes. We're 2 off 100 and we've got 150 people watching currently. So please smash the likes, get us over 100. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all your indulgence. Please make sure that you are either commenting on my videos or you're subscribed, because I know when I said I would go on a course for memberships with YouTube, my membership skyrocketed. And the other day they sent me an email 45 minutes before before the course or whatever it was. And I was like, hang on a second, I didn't even know it was today. And they've taken 20 odd subs off me. So please make sure that you are subscribed. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. There's more information because I've got so much that I've got hold of. So I'll try and do more for you during the day. And whatever you're doing, wherever you go, be safe, be well. Always take emergency Battenberg with you. Night all. Thank you for being there. And that was Theatre of the Mind Live 254. And it's not a show, it's a mission. And the mission? Truth. Always. See you Wednesday, 7:15 for Parish Notes, 7:30 for a bit of spookiness. Do you want me to read you some ghost stories on Wednesday? You could always just kind of switch this off and listen. I'll do that. See you Wednesday, 7:30, for stuff.